Hello everybody, my name is Mohammed Salim from AKSW University of Leipzig in Germany. Today I'm going to talk about indirection, which is also called pointers in computer programming. Here is the agenda for today's talk. First of all, I will introduce indirection, and then I will talk about pointers as indirection object and give a simple C example of pointers, and at the end I will talk about the advantages and disadvantages of pointers. What is an indirection? As the name suggests, it is indirect access to some point. For example, consider the pizza delivery guy who wants to deliver a pizza from his location to this building. Now there are two possible methods for this. The first one is called direct access method. In this method, he can directly deliver his pizza from this place to this building. However, it is only possible if he has the corresponding pizza with himself. And this method is not possible if he doesn't have the pizza. So in that case, he needs an indirect access, which is first he needs to go to the pizza shop and collect the pizza from there, and only then he can deliver the pizza to this building. And this would be called indirection or indirect access method. In computer programming, indirection is referencing data types not by using their values. Rather, it is referencing data types by using their name or addresses. So how we can reference this building? There can be multiple ways. For example, the first way is we can reference this by its name because it is a famous White House building, or we can also reference it by using its address, which is given here, or we can also reference it by using its current value. Since it is a president house building and the current president of USA is Biden, so we can call it Biden House. Now if we reference it or deliver the pizza by its address, then this example would call an indirection. So now let's talk about pointers as indirection object in computer programming. But before going to do so, let me introduce some basic concepts of programming, and especially in C and C++. So every variable is a memory location in C and C++ programming, which means that we have a variable, and then for every variable we have some location assigned, and every memory location has its address and value. For example, here the address of this memory location could be 0000 and value can be anything. Please note that I'm only using a very simple addresses just for understanding, but in reality these addresses are different. An object that stores memory address is called a pointer. So let's suppose we have a pointer which is called P, and it stores an address which is 000, which means the address of this location. Now this is called a pointer and it points to this location. Obtaining the value of that location is called dereferencing the pointer. So what does it mean? Here is the pointer and there is address stored on this pointer and it refers to this address. And obtaining this value which is stored at this address is called dereferencing the pointer. And I'm going to explain it in the next slide using a simple C example. So now let me show you a very simple example of pointer in C which I'm going to explain step by step. So here is the example, and let's suppose here is the current memory situation. Here we have addresses and then we have values which are null in the memory, and we have various variable. So we are going to explain it step by step now. So in the example, the first step is declaration of integer variable which is called age. So how does it look like in the memory? So here a variable is defined which is age, and a specific memory address is assigned to this variable. Let's suppose it is 0001. Of course it can be any other address as well. And here the current value of this variable is null because we didn't initialize it. Now we are going to initialize it. So here we assigned a value of 30 to this variable age, so which comes here. Now after that we declare and initialize another variable which is called name, and we initialize it with the value of Tom. So here is the name and the value of Tom is assigned here. Going to declare a pointer. Basically it is an integer pointer, so please note that the static operator is used to declare pointers. So after this, how it looks like here, an integer pointer variable is declared here, and it is also assigned to some specific memory address. Let's suppose it is 0006, and currently the value of this integer pointer is null. But please remember that the integer pointer or pointers always store addresses, so we need to assign some address from here to this integer pointer, which are going to do so in the next step. So here we are assigning the address of age, which is 0001, to integer pointer. So here is the value which is actually an address. So please note that this ampersand operator is an address operator, and you need to use it when you are assigning some address to a variable or when you are printing some address. So here we use ampersand before the variable, which means that we assign the address of this variable age into integer pointer. So to print some output, so the first thing is that we are going to print the address of variable, which is age. So if we go to the age and then the address is 0001, so simply we say that ampersand of age and this address will be printed, which is 001 here in the output. Step, we are printing the address store in pointer variable. So here is the pointer variable and the address store is here. Please note that here we don't use any ampersand operator, then it will store the value of this integer pointer. And now we are going to print the address of pointer variable. So here is the pointer variable and the address is 0006. Here again we use the ampersand operator and we will get this output. Finally, we want to print or dereference this integer pointer, which means that we want to print the value that is stored at this address. So first we go to this address, which is here 0001, and then we want to print the value which is 30. So how we can do is we just need this static operator and then the integer pointer, and then we will get this result. We talk about some of the applications of pointers. So pointers are very useful for passing arguments by reference. For example, to modify a variable of a function in other function, and a famous example is swapping of two variables. Also, it is useful for accessing array elements because compiler internally uses pointer to access array elements. And pointers could be also used for returning multiple values, and also it is very good for dynamic memory allocation. The dynamic memory allocation is not automatically deleted, but we need to explicitly delete it. And also it is used in the implementation of data structures such as linked list and trees and graphs. It is very useful for system level programming. Sometimes there is a memory which is shared by multiple threads, and how to control this memory access is very difficult. But using pointer, it's become really easy. So there are some disadvantages. Well, I wouldn't call it a disadvantage, but one need to be very careful when using pointers. For example, it could result in segmentation fault or memory corruption if a wrong address is assigned to a pointer. And it could also lead to memory leakage. From my side, thank you so much for your anticipation. If you have any further queries, you can contact me directly on the given email. Thank you so much.